Are you wondering if the Canon 7D Mark II camera of 2014 is relevant in 2022? Then stick around, because in this video I'm going to tell you more about the Canon 7D Mark II and why it's still one of the best cameras for bird and wildlife photography even in 2022. So you want to click wildlife and you're considering the Canon 7D Mark II. You're in the right place. I have a 5-point checklist to decide whether any camera is good enough for wildlife photography. They are the number of autofocus points, autofocus speed, burst speed, buffer size, and image quality. I find that if these specs are good enough for wildlife photography, then all other factors also fall in place. Now, before we talk about these specs in detail, I want to tell you that the camera is, as they say, built like a tank, completely weather sealed, resists dust and water like a champion. It has 66 focus points, all cross type. Cross type points are able to focus faster and more accurately than non-cross type points. You can rely on them to nail focus every single time, even in challenging conditions such as low light and when clicking photos of subjects in action. I always set my autofocus area to single point and then select the relevant point where I want maximum sharpness. I align that focus point with the eye of the subject. On a Canon 7D Mark II, you can choose a smaller AF area within the focus point for even more accurate focusing. The autofocus speed is super fast. I have no words to describe how quick and accurate it is in any situation. It has a 20.2 megapixel sensor and can click 10 frames per second, which is exceptional. Its buffer can hold 31 raw images, which is significantly less when you compare it to something like a Nikon D500, which has a buffer size that can accommodate 200 raw images. However, if you use a fast memory card, which is very affordable these days, your camera will never slow down just because its buffer is full. When clicking pictures of birds in flight, we need shutter speeds in excess of 1/2000th of a second, sometimes even 1/4000th of a second. That means setting higher ISO values. The image quality is exceptional on the Canon 7D Mark II, even at 1600 ISO, and produces acceptable images even at 12800 ISO. The Canon 7D Mark II camera checks all boxes, and that's why it's still one of the best cameras you can lay your hands on, even in 2022. But if you're interested in photographing birds, you must consider the fact that Canon does not offer us an affordable 500mm lens for their DSLR cameras, unlike Nikon, which has two lenses, the 200-500 and 500-5.6 prime lens. On the other hand, Canon has an exceptional 100-400 lens that's probably the sharpest super telephoto lens out there at the moment. The 100-400 Mark II is a lot smaller and lighter than the Nikon 200-500. So if you're going on a jeep safari to click tigers, leopards, rhinos and other larger mammals, then the 100-400 Mark II lens is more comfortable to handle. It does exceptionally well with the 1.4x Mark III teleconverter. Please see the link in the description for my review on using the teleconverter and extending the focal length of this lens from 400mm to 560mm. Thank you for joining me on this little tour, and I hope you picked up little insights that will help you to click better pictures of birds. Every time you see better results, do think of me. I'm Girish Menon. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos on bird and wildlife photography.